How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Football Capital. Happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Year, boys. Happy New Year, boys.
Man.
And you guessed it, we're back for another episode of Group Chat.
Here we go.
I think, like you said, I think it's a no-brainer. Like you said, I won't lie to you, it was between him and Joe Hart for me.
Joe Hart. He did it with Guardiola, and without Guardiola, I think that speaks volumes. And he was a pure leader. So I'm going to start with him.
Captain of the squad as well, huh?
Yep.
So far, so good. I think we all agree.
Yeah, I think we're agreeing. This is weird.
We're-
Why are we
we're-
agreeing with each other?
Yeah.
For me, Van Dijk, yeah, he's only been there for a few years. He was at Southampton before that. He was a clear choice for Liverpool. Since he's come in, he's changed the whole squad.
I think Van Dijk's decade is going to be this decade now, where
Yeah,
he's going to be probably the best
Yeah.
defender in the world.
Yeah.
The John Terry, he's won Premier League titles. He's won every
Yeah.
single trophy you can in this decade.
Look,
With a
look.
Chelsea team that's been up and down as well, going through different kind of managers, and he's been there.
Yeah, I think the fact that Milner went from midfielder to defender, going to Liverpool, and he's won Champions League and his Premier League.
And he's been there
The fact that he
whole
can go from
decade.
midfielder to defender, he can play a right back role. I think in a heartbeat.
But if you compare Everest's 3 years to his 10 years,
Yeah, I
where
know.
does
Yeah.
that kind of add up? I know individually you can't get, like we're looking past Ashley Cole here as well.
Yeah. And this was actually my first pick of the team, Yaya Toure.
2015,
What did he do in the first year?
won the league.
The standard isn't the same,
Yeah,
which
but
means that his performance
okay,
is
tell me
getting. You're saying
how
De Bruyne when he's injured, he's not
tell me how
playing.
De Bruyne went in his first couple of seasons.
This feels like group chat.
Now tell me, come on, we've always said it. Everyone has said it every year. Oh, he had a bad season. A new manager comes in, Hazard's fantastic. Doesn't agree with something the manager does. It's a poor season from Hazard.
Me personally, I've never seen one person take a team to the title, and like it's just so hard to win. And you see these dominating Man City teams, but they're all like team efforts more so than like one person. And
He had no one in that
Van
United
Persie
squad.
had the biggest traps in the world because holding 10 other men on his back every week. I'd still have Van Persie and Suarez before I pick him.
How though?
I'd have Van Persie and
Why-
Hazard
why-
before I pick him.
Some of them, yeah, scored in every game. In all the qualifying games, he scored, right? In the Premier League, season in, season out, Harry Kane scores goals, 20 plus goals every season. He doesn't score in August, and he still bloody gets top golden boots and all that every single season with being injured. So don't talk to me about Van Persie.
Alright, but then
Now, in the last decade, we've seen some unbelievable football in the Premier League. We've seen some unbelievable talent come through the Premier League. We still see some talent that's still playing within the last decade, of course. But today, boys, we're going to break down our team of the decade in the English Premier League. And what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to go through each one of our teams, and we're going to combine put together a combined squad that we believe at the Football Capital is the team of the decade. So, boys, straight to the point. Let's start at the keeper. Who do you boys have for goalkeeper for team of the decade?
I think there's no really dispute for this one. You have to have David De Gea, in my opinion. The last decade, yeah, he hasn't had a great year and a half since the World Cup, but come on, he's won one Premier League, and I think it's the FA Cup, Europa League, although he didn't play any of the games.
Yeah.
Carling Cup as well, or League Cup. But the way he's performed and the way he saved United in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And the saves has been pulling off. I think I know you have other keepers there like Edison that's won 2 trophies. You had Peter Cech that's won titles as well. But
Peter Cech's a big one.
Hands down, David De Gea for me has to be in this team of the decade.
Seba?
yeah, you know, I was tossing between De Gea and Petr Cech myself.
Yeah.
But you know, being the United fan that I am, I went with De Gea. I think he just displayed just extra skill. You know, just on another level. You never see keepers getting
Out of
the
his
season.
Yeah.
And you see this guy did it back to back. And I think he's worthy of the spot. What
Yeah.
about you?
I had Patrice Evra as goalkeeper. No, I'm joking. He only played that one time. No, I had De Gea as well, man. I think, like you said, I think it's a no-brainer. Like you said, I won't lie to you, it was between him and Joe Hart for me.
Joe Hart, yeah.
It wasn't
Won
between
a few
him and
titles.
Peter Cech. It was between him and Joe Hart. Joe Hart, doing a lot for the club. We saw what happened to him, unfortunately. Obviously, when Guardiola came in, he got the kick and the boot. But I think...
Yeah, but you could say David De Gea, compared to Joe Hart, has been there longer in that
Correct.
decade.
Longer, yeah.
As in at the highest level, we know Joe Hart went away for a bit, come back, didn't really do it at Burnley.
I think it's safe to say that we're going to lock in as a combined squad. Not Peter Cech in goals.
Cech, no,
David De Gea in goals.
That's the thing that's locked in for us.
That's locked in. All right, boys. Now, centre back, Seba. I'll throw it to you. First centre back.
All right, centre backs. Again, tough, but I think Vincent Company can't look past him. Man City were just unstoppable with him at the back. He did it with Guardiola, and without Guardiola, I think that speaks volumes. And he was a pure leader. So I'm going to start with him.
Captain of the squad as well, huh?
Yep.
Company.
Yeah, look, his company has to be in there. I think him and De Gea, and there's also one more player that has to be in his team of the decade, and 100%.
We'll go through it later on.
Vincent Company is one of them.
Yeah.
He has to be in this squad.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer with Company. Like, you have to have him.
What's that for?
I won't lie to you.
Premier League titles. The way he's, like you said, a leader. The way he won it. Well, not won it himself, but that goal against Leicester last year that kind of killed off the title.
Where he decided to leave.
And then he decided to leave, and he just does it in the big games. How many times in the derby, the Manchester derby, he stepped up and popped up with a header or goal? Has to be in there.
I think when I started my team, I started it with Company, not even with De Gea, to be honest with you, because I think Company must be in the squad. And to be honest with you, if I had to have a captain in the squad too, it'd probably be Company to captain the squad of the decade.
Yeah, guaranteed.
So he operates at a different level, I think, to every other centre back.
So far, so good. I think we all agree.
Yeah, I think we're agreeing. This is weird. Why are we agreeing with each other?
Agreeing.
This is group chat. We shouldn't be agreeing.
It's going to
turn. Yeah, no, we'll turn ugly. All right, we'll lock in Vincent Company.
In the next one, but let's go.
Borche, second centre back.
You went for a 4-3, 3 in the back, right?
I went for 3.
You went for 3 in the back, but our one we're gonna do
We chose 4-3-3. We're doing 4-3-3.
For me, the second centre back. I know it's a bit debatable, but I think it's John Terry. John Terry has to be in there 7 years. In this decade, he's played 7 years in that time. He left, 2017. He left in that time. I think two Premier Leagues, two Champions League, a Europa League, and we know the type of player he was. Even in the decade before, I think he was one of the outstanding players. And I think carrying on into this decade, I think he was that leader for Chelsea. To right at the end where he decided to leave and go elsewhere. But for me, I know you guys might have other options, but I think you can't go past, for me, John Terry.
Can you though?
Who do you have?
All right, I started with John Terry as well initially, but off camera, Rami was saying, and I agree with him 100%. And the reason that I took him out is because his best days weren't in this decade. His legacy is bigger than pretty much every other player's, I guess, in the decade. But I'm going to leave him out of this one just purely because of the decade that it is.
So instead of Terry, who you put in there?
But this was tough, to be honest. I put Vidic, but again, maybe this decade is not his.
It's not his
to own, to claim that spot.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's too hard. It's such an attacking league that my mind struggles to pick up those quality defenders. But it comes to mind, I guess these days specifically like Van Dijk or something like that. But you know what? I'm gonna leave this one blank.
Oh, he's leaving it blank.
I am.
He's leaving it. Yeah. So how are we gonna fill this one in? Because if we're playing a 4-3-3, you've picked Terry, I've gone Van Dijk. Now, I'll tell you now, what you said was what I said to you off camera. It's true. Terry had some fantastic days, even the last decade.
Yeah.
But he was really well known for the decade before that, pre-2010.
Yeah.
Not saying he didn't do anything special after 2010. He still achieved quite a lot, and he captained the Chelsea squad that won what they did achieve, what they did win.
Yeah.
For me, Van Dijk, he's only been there for a few years. He was at Southampton before that. He was a clear choice for Liverpool. Since he's come in, he's changed the whole squad. I think everyone puts a lot of importance on Klopp. I think a lot of it is Van Dijk as well. But I don't know, man.
I just think you're picking what Van Dijk has done in two years.
3 years or 4 years, even at Southampton.
Yes, not really, but 2 years of what he's done. He's won the Champions League. Didn't win the league in that decade. So fortunately, yes, they might win it this year. Fortunately, it's not in that decade. You can't go past a legend, a Premier League legend like John Terry. You guys saying he's been past it. If you look at on the screen here, 2016, 15 season, 14 season, look at the amount of games he's played in them. So he's...
Yeah, but how many minutes per game did he play?
Clearly not past it.
He can come on for a minute and come off and say that he played that game.
Obviously, John Terry
I
is not coming on for a minute.
I wouldn't say it's wrong to say that his best days were still the decade before, though.
His best days were the decade before. I'm not saying he did anything bad in this decade.
Yeah, but I'm saying for me personally, if we're going to look at it that way, I think Van Dijk's decade is going to be this decade now, where he's going to be probably the best defender in the world. So we can't. To me, I don't know. at the end of the day, Rami has the last say on who goes into the squad. But
Look,
based
you know
on the
what?
argument, but I think I know. Look,
Okay, look.
Van Dijk is Van Dijk. We know the
He's a
quality that
freak.
he has,
I understand that.
The John Terry, he's won Premier League titles. He's won every single trophy you can in this decade.
Look,
with a
look.
Chelsea team that's been up and down as well, going through different kind of managers, and he's been there.
And he captained the squad as well for many years. So look, I've got Van Dijk, you've got Terry. I'm gonna probably pick Terry for the second centre back for team of the decade. So I reckon we'll lock in Terry. Like you said, there is an argument there with Van Dijk. This next decade
100%.
coming,
I reckon this is his decade as
this
one of
next
the best
decade
in the
coming,
world.
he probably will be known as the best defender of the last decade in 10 years' time. So we'll look at it from there. Now, being based on 4-3-3, I know you have to read the back.
Yeah.
Who was your other option for a defender?
So for the wing back or the full back, I put Zabaleta.
Okay.
He had a crazy couple seasons a fair few seasons with Man City.
Would you put him on the left or right side?
He did play. That's
If I
the
remember
thing.
correctly, I think it was the right back. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll chuck him right back.
All right. For right back, he's got Zabaleta. Right back.
I've got Aspilicueta. So very similar in the names. Bit of a tongue twister. Aspilicueta has played left and right back for me. Sorry, not for me, for Chelsea. Unless I'm the manager.
For Borch FC.
Me,
What a
Borch
career.
FC. And the same with him. He's played all these sort of games. He's probably the longest serving Chelsea player at the moment. So he's probably
He's still going.
longest serving. I think
He was a big player for him, huh?
the things he's done throughout Chelsea, very similar with John Terry, who he's been part of winning the trophies, winning the Champions League, Europa Leagues, and all them trophies. Compared to Zabaleta, I think that's a good shout as well.
Zabaleta is a great shout.
Is a great shout.
Look, it doesn't have to be in position as long as it's in the back line, I guess. You
But
don't.
they both look. Aspilicueta played on the right and
Yeah,
played on the left.
The
so-
reason why I say that is because I've got Milner as my right back.
But Milner played left back.
Milner was a winger
Yeah, but
originally.
Yeah,
when he
true.
got converted as a fullback,
He was a left back.
as a left back, he was
Yeah.
more of a left back than a right back, which is why Milner's on my other side in my
Yeah,
team.
on my other side I got someone else. But
But-
look, it's a debate here. You know
Rami's
what?
in the hot seat.
In that case, before we do pick the right back, who's your left back?
Mine is Milner.
Yours is Milner.
The reason why it's for me it's Milner. I think he's been a
How about we do a combined left and right back pick here?
yeah. We can do it
Okay,
together.
we'll
We
do a
can it
combined left
together.
and right back pick here.
Interchangeable.
We'll do a combined left and right back.
I've got Milner. My reasons for putting Milner in the squad, and a lot of teams probably wouldn't have, or a lot of people that have picked the team of the decade wouldn't have Milner.
Yeah.
The reason why I pick him, he's really a player I think is very underrated. He's been like an unsung hero, I think, to Liverpool and City,
Yeah.
and not only that to Aston Villa.
Aston
And yes,
Villa back
there
in
was
the
only
days.
1 year in the decade where he did play for Aston Villa, and I think in that year he got the PFA play. He got into the team of the year, the PFA team of the
He
year,
did.
playing at
Yeah,
Aston
winning.
Villa. Do you know what I mean? In that squad.
Well, there's a reason why. There's a reason why City and
That's
Liverpool
right.
would take him after
That's
Aston
right.
Villa.
And then he goes to City. He's played heaps of games for him. Won 2 Premier League titles. I think an FA Cup. I think a Carling Cup there as well. He's gone to Liverpool. Not only that, he's been converted as a fullback from a midfielder, and he doesn't complain. He's one of them players that gets on with his job no matter what position he plays in. I think we talk about Van Dijk at Liverpool for last season and how well they did in the back. I think a lot of credit has to go to Milner. The way he can, I know everyone's saying, I think Van Dijk kind of takes all the glory,
Yeah.
and Milner is kind of has been brushed off, but really the way he controls that team almost like a Henderson in that squad.
Yeah.
And I think he's one of the main reasons why City went on to win a lot of things. He was like a Darren Fletcher in a way. For Liverpool, he's been that player where no one really speaks about. Gets on with his job, doesn't miss penalties, always steps them up.
That's
He's
true.
another leader, another captain sort of player.
Maybe he's not underrated, but underappreciated.
Yeah, you could say that.
He's not underrated because if he was underrated, then he would have been picked
Yeah,
by
I guess like
Man City,
yeah.
Liverpool after Aston. I get where
That's
you're coming
right,
from.
yeah.
Underappreciated is the correct.
Yeah, wording.
What do you reckon? He's got Aspilicueta and Milner. You had Zabaleta and who? If you had to go for another
Well,
back.
all right. If I had to pick between, the
I know
two,
you've got three at the
I'd
back.
probably have Zabaleta on the right, and I'd have Milner on the left.
Okay, there
and
you
leave
go.
Aspilicueta out of that one.
So you got Milner there as well.
I've got Milner on the right, but I've got
Yeah.
Evra on the left. Because I think the fact that Milner went from midfielder to defender going to Liverpool and he's won Champions League and his Premier League.
And he's been there
The
the
fact that he
whole
can go from
decade.
midfielder to defender, he can play right back role, I think, in a heartbeat.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Without a
I
doubt.
agree with that.
I've got Milner, Evra, you've got Azpilicueta, Milner, and you've got Zabaleta, and okay. Look, I think definitely we'll lock in Milner there.
Which side do you want to lock in? Because you got Patrice Evra. Now, it's...
But to me,
he's big-
Evra,
I know-
look, Evra did still play 3 years in the last decade, 3 seasons. Yeah, I know one of them was in the Premier League title or winning squad of Alex Ferguson's. Two of them actually.
yeah.
And then when Moyes came in, he obviously got rid of the Ferdinand, the Vidic, and the Evra, so he filtered out the back line.
But if you compare Evra's 3 years to his 10 years,
Yeah, I
where
know.
does that kind of add up? I know individually you can't get, like we're looking past Ashley Cole here as well.
Yeah.
We're looking past there's been Leighton Baines. I think it's another great shout. If we're picking Milner, why aren't we picking Leighton
Well,
Baines?
because Leighton Baines doesn't want anything. Milner has won everything.
Yeah, okay.
I'd pick Kolarov instead of Leighton Baines.
But look, even Kyle Walker, even in that right back position,
He was at Tottenham.
he was at Tottenham. Yes, he didn't win anything, but he's been in that PFA Team of the Year.
All right.
3 years.
All right, but
2
what
or
about
3
this? What
years.
about this though? Kyle Walker is great, but more of an attacking. Let's just have the best defenders because we're gonna have
That's
6
fine,
more
I'm
attackers
saying
going forward. You know what I mean?
I reckon who the best is in that position. I think, like we're looking past a lot of other players as well. I know we have Patrice Evra, but in this decade, I'll put Kyle Walker in front of Patrice Evra. I'll put, like I said, who else? I'll put Milner in front of him. Zabaleta I'll put in front of Evra. I think these players that have been here maybe longer in the decade, I think deserve to go in it. You know, and that's why I don't think Van Dijk should be in it because yes, he's been 5 years. He was at Southampton and all that, but really at the start of that Southampton period, there was a lot. He was very shaken.
Yeah,
There's a lot
they
of
weren't
Look,
mistakes.
since
He's had 2 good seasons compared to someone like
okay, how about we do this? I reckon we'll lock in Milner into left back. So we'll lock in Milner to left back. We'll leave Evra out. So we'll lock in there, wherever it is.
So we got
So Milner left
in
back.
Where is he?
Yeah, lock him in. As a right back, I'm gonna go with Zabaleta instead of Azpilicueta, and I'll tell you why.
Champions Leagues, Europa Leagues, Zabaleta hasn't won them. Look at that, look what he's done with the
But
squad.
Zabaleta was a consistent, non-stop. He originally was a centre back. Yeah, we're picking a right back position here. I know right now Azpilicueta as a right back, he's been converted to that position as of recently. But this is only, I think, his 2nd season playing as
You're right, because Marcus Alonso was playing a lot.
last season.
But then
A lot.
I
Last
reckon
season.
Kyle Walker
To
is
top
better
it off
than
as well.
Zabaleta. Has been better than Zabaleta.
But we don't have Cole
For
Walker.
For
in
less
option.
time, for less time, I think.
Zabaleta
But
went to
Zabaleta
West
was
Ham,
there for
went to
how
West
long?
Ham and-
For 2 years, bro.
Yeah, but
Zabaleta started. Okay, so he came into Man City. He was a consistent right back starter, dangerous
we're
player.
struggling with the fullback.
This is the back line, eh?
this is we're struggling
Wait
with
till
the
the other players
fullback.
come in. Going forward, defensively, attacking, a brilliant leader. He was a nightmare to verse, and he was consistent starter for how many seasons in that
he
right back
played
position?
every game, bro.
Under how many different managers at Man City?
I disagree. You can say what you want. I disagree, but I'll surrender. I'll surrender Aspilicueta.
It's not your choice. He's the host.
That's
today.
right. That's right. I don't mind.
Let's lock in.
It's not the biggest. It's not the biggest problem. I do like Zabaleta, but for me,
I know where you're coming from. It's a hard pick.
yeah, your choice at the end.
We'll go with Zabaleta.
So we're gonna go with Zabaleta at the right.
Mind
back.
you, I can't stand
So we
him.
got David De Gea,
Yeah, I know, it looks ugly
Zabaleta
there.
at right, Company, Terry, and Milner.
This whole team's gonna be Man City. All right, boys. First central midfielder. I'll throw it over to you, Seba.
All right, so the centre midfielder, I'm going to go with, and this was actually my first pick of the team, Yaya Toure. He was just ridiculously good, banging goals from everywhere, pushing people off the ball, every challenge he'd win, passing, distributing. I don't know, I just loved his play, you know what I mean? He was very unique.
Every team's dream to have.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and even when he was ready to leave City and there was rumours of him coming to United, I honestly wanted him.
Oh, I
I
think
wanted
everyone
him to
did.
come. I know it was a ridiculous call, but you know what I mean? Like, he can transform
I
a team.
think
I-
he ran so slow, but the pace.
He just
was
moved,
right.
and
was
he
so
used to hit
beautiful.
bangers from like
Look,
halfway.
I think this is a no-brainer. I reckon there's no discussion for this one.
Put Toure in.
reckon Toure.
I don't even want to discuss it. I've got him.
I
You've
don't-
got
I
him.
don't
He's got
think it should
him.
be-
Well done, boys.
That's an easy one. I like that. Nice and easy.
2020.
Now it
We're
gets
not
harder.
arguing this
Now
year.
it gets harder.
Borchi, your second centre mid. I'll go you first.
For me, let me see who I got. I'm gonna go for I'm gonna go for David Silva, so another City player. I mean, look, City, arguably the best.
Oh, they are the
team
best team in the
decade.
last decade. So
David
this
Silva-
squad's going to be mostly Man
Yeah,
City. Let's be honest.
Silva's been there from the start of this decade. I think 2010, 2011 season is coming,
Yeah.
and I mean, like, the impact he's still making. He's already announced that he's leaving at the end of this year, at the end of the season, and the impact that he's still having on the squad. Even last season,
Unbelievable.
with players out, with players injured, he's always stepped up to the plate. You never hear of rumors of him leaving, or no disruptions in the change rooms. He's even though he looks like a quiet character, he's another leader that
Still
in
influences.
the squad.
Yeah.
Especially when he shaved his head, he got even like better.
Yeah.
But I
Professor
think
X.
for me, David Silva depends. I don't know what you boys have, but for me, he's in my squad, and I think he definitely should be in his team of the decade.
Seba, you have Silva in your squad?
I do not have Silver in my squad.
He doesn't have Silva. in
Honorable
his
mention,
squad.
but I like he deserves.
Yeah.
He does deserve to be there.
Who's your second centre mid instead of Silva?
I'm gonna put Hazard.
As a central midfielder.
Yeah, I got.
I know the formation doesn't count. All guys are midfielder.
As a mid, yeah. So Hazard, I'm gonna put Hazard. If we're gonna be if the 4-3-3, I'm gonna put Hazard on either side of Yaya Toure.
Interesting.
I think that in his time at Chelsea, he was like head and shoulders above everybody in the league. When he did dominate, he was just such a unique talent. And well, you can see one season without him and Chelsea struggling. Not that they didn't struggle with him as well. He was just such a mercurial player.
Yeah.
He just made things happen from nowhere. You know, he'd pick up the ball and just do it himself. Every club was after him when Chelsea signed him. You know, literally everybody. I don't know if you guys remember that transfer window, but everyone was talking about where's he going to go. Everyone wants him, and Chelsea got him, and proved to be a great signing. And to me, one of the best players of the decade.
I don't disagree with Hazard being in the squad.
I reckon that's maybe a good argument for the front three.
Yeah, front three. But look, there's a point being mentioned there. With Hazard, absolutely everyone wanted him. I think after Ronaldo left, he's been the best player in the Premier League every single year since he was there. That's my opinion. Debatable, of course. That's obviously what I think. It's subjective, as my brother always says. But I'm gonna have to go with Silva. Have to.
Yeah.
I think Silva, like Borcha mentioned, the last decade has been unbelievable in the Man City squad. He's been the puppeteer, I guess, the puppet master, pulling everyone in place and pulling on the strings, making everything happen. Consistent, class player. He's been a part of that generation where Aguero and him have been there for like the whole time. They have never left.
Yeah, it's
Loyal
weird, like,
players.
that's what I'm saying. It's
Part of the
weird how
Yaya
they left.
Toure and the company and the Silvers and the Agueros, they still exist. Yes, Silva's retiring this year. It's going to be very sad. I'm going to have to get Silva. I don't disagree with Hazard, but probably a bit later in the
No, that
squad.
makes sense. Hey, he won more.
Yeah. So Silva to me, and it's a shame. We talk about all these Man City players. None of them have a Champions League title
Yeah.
in the Man
But
City
to be
squad.
fair, this is the Premier League decade. Team of the decade.
It's insane, but it's insane that this Man City squad hasn't. Anyway,
No, it could
just
be that
can't do
he's-
it.
being three in the mid. Who's our third centre mid, boys?
I've gone with N'Golo Kante for me.
N'Golo Kante.
Um,
How many seasons have you played in the
been
decade?
playing 5 years.
5 years now.
Yeah,
Won it with
won at
Leicester.
15, 16, yeah.
Won it with Leicester. Next season went to Chelsea. Won it with Chelsea. And I think he's won it twice with Chelsea. So I think City won it, and then Chelsea won it again. If I'm correct.
Did they win
I'm
it
not- I think it's
They've won it twice in the
out
last
of
5
three.
years.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think Kante's been part, and he's not just been there and hung around. He's actually been a part of why they've been winning it, in my opinion. Also, in that time, I know he's the Premier League, but he's also won the World Cup. So he was a big part in that French squad as well. I know we're talking about
Yeah. It's still
Um,
attributes to the player. Yeah.
this year, his Lampard's moved him in a different sort of role, and I think he's
Adapted.
doing well. Yeah, he's adapting to the role. It looks like he's getting more goals as well. And come on, the engine in the team, in every team that he's at, the defensive work that he does. I mean,
Yeah.
who's if for me, in my opinion, if you're making a world 11, Kante's in that world 11.
You know what's funny? I'm gonna quickly jump in here. He's in the world 11 to me, but he wouldn't be in the Premier League 11 for some reason. It's just weird. I don't know why, because I feel like in the world 11 there's more midfielders out there. It's hard. It's a weird thing for me to say. It's a very weird thing for me to
He's in
say.
the world 11. He's got to be.
Oh, not necessarily. I don't know. It's
If
tough.
you're the best in the
gonna-
world, you're going to be the best in the league in that position. I know.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's tough.
The reason I'd
Look
leave
at the
him
team
out
he
of
won
the
with.
decade team is because he had out of say 5 years we said one of the years when he was at Chelsea with Sarri, he was playing out of position, right? Which is not his fault, obviously, but he struggled, yeah. Jorginho was playing in his spot, and Kante was kind of nowhere to be seen for a long time. You know what I mean? He has success with Leicester and Chelsea as well, and he's a big part of that. But I think that 1 year kind of for me takes him out of the running.
Just
that
1 year.
Yeah, out of 5, but not out of 10.
5. Who do you have as your first centre mid?
I don't know.
For me, it's Frank Lampard.
Frank Lampard. How many years did Lampard play in the decade?
I'm not sure.
When did Lampard retire?
I think so. He went and played for Melbourne City. New York City in
2015 was it?
maybe 15.
Was he there for? I think he was there for 3 or 4 seasons in the last decade.
In the last decade, yeah.
He would
Look,
have.
I think mine is more just the player who he was and what he gave to Chelsea.
It doesn't have to look again. It's debatable how you want to pick it. Now,
Yeah, it's tough,
You
man.
can pick it and how many years they played in the last decade, or you can pick it based on even if they existed in the decade and what's your argument behind it. If you think Lampard,
He played for he won the title with Man City as well. Let's not forget Lampard. Yeah.
2014-15. Didn't Chelsea win it?
that kills it. That they put him on loan,
Chelsea
and then
won, I think.
He
and then he went to Man City, scored that bomb
I
against
think he
against
won
Chelsea. That was
Yeah,
the
he
best.
did, eh?
That was the best.
Did he win it with?
So you got Kante, you've got Lampard, boys. I've got De Bruyne. I've got De Bruyne in the squad. Now, after mentioning De Bruyne, would you still pick a Kante over De Bruyne?
Well, then
Because
you're mentioning he by Seba's theories of him having Kante having one bad season
Or De Bruyne was injured last season.
The season he was out the whole year for City. So that's 1 year gone out of the 5. So we're looking
Yeah,
at the
but
same way.
gone injured and gone playing poorly is two different things, I think.
Yeah, but he's not in the year altogether.
But let's just say,
But Kante hasn't wasn't as poor as you say. he
But
is.
I think Kante has never hit.
But then Hazard wasn't as good under Surrey. How many players went good under Surrey?
Yeah.
But he
There's
still
been
had a good
lot of players.
season. He still scored goals.
His bad season is an amazing season still, but that's because you're comparing to him. But if you compare it to his own standards, I get where you're coming from as well.
And Hazard as well. It's not every year that he had a good season. It's one season good, one season bad.
Yeah, but
It's
whenever
been like that.
for
It's
me,
been like that for Hazard.
but for me, whenever De Bruyne plays, he's class. Yeah, and I think De Bruyne's peak.
I don't think it's come yet.
I think De Bruyne's peak that he's already hit has been better than what Kante's peak's already been hit. For example, I'm not saying that they both still have more to peak.
But
Now,
you're looking at
De
different
Bruyne at his
runs.
best and Kante at his best are completely, I think, different. They're different style of players.
Yeah.
De Bruyne at his best so far has been better than Kante at his best
So
to
you're
me.
saying a player that was with Leicester, a team like Leicester City, that he was.
Yeah, but that whole season was a miracle.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter regardless.
Mahrez,
of the miracle,
Vardy.
he went to Chelsea and still performed the way he performed. So we're not talking about the team in general. We're talking about that one player in the time that he was in the Premier League or in the decade. We're looking at his time. We're not looking at the team.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, I agree.
So you're looking at.
Yeah, I know,
you're looking
De
at-
Bruyne played
he
at
won
Man-
it. He won it with a Leicester City team that everyone read off the whole season, and he was one of their main focal points of why
Yeah,
they've won it.
but
he
everyone-
goes over to Chelsea and dominates pretty much the Premier League again in that position and wins it again. Then we had Surrey comes in, or whoever comes in plays him in a different position. It's not his fault. It's like De Bruyne.
I know it's not his fault, but at the end of the day, he's
it's
still playing the game, and if he's not doing what he's being asked of by the coach, I mean that means that you're not playing well enough. You know what I mean?
But then you can say that for any single player.
Of course
any
you
single
can.
player.
I
but
agree,
You can't
I agree.
use that. You can't use that argument for.
But Borche,
Why he's not-
But
why
if this
not-
guy's got, let's say we're rating the performances, yeah, that those games where Kante out of position didn't play well, the average rating will go down because his performance,
Yeah.
the rating for that performance has gone down. The standard isn't the same,
Yeah,
which
but
means that his performance
okay,
is getting.
tell me
you're saying
how.
De Bruyne when he's injured, he's not
tell me how
playing.
De Bruyne went in his first couple of seasons.
This feels like group chat.
Now tell me. Tell me how De Bruyne. We're looking at De Bruyne the last couple of years. So tell me the first year he was at Chelsea had 3 appearances, hardly played.
But you're gonna judge
So
a
we're
whole
now
season
gonna
in
blame
3 appearances, though.
Yeah, so that's
3
it.
appearances, but
Okay, 3
you're saying I
appearances.
can't use that for Kante, but you can use it for De Bruyne.
Well, I'm just saying, you judge him. What are you judging him on? The last couple of years.
I just think what the player
Okay,
has
what about
done,
when he first
what
came? When he first came into City, tell me what he did when he first came to City.
I can't give you specifics. I
There
thought
we
he played
go.
well, but
Because
he
yeah,
played-
we know they came in a similar period, and we still know that
When did Kante start with Leicester?
2015
What did he do in the first year?
won the league.
Did he play amazing from the get-go?
Yes, come on.
Did De
come
Bruyne
on,
play
come back.
amazing from the Man City
I
get-go?
don't think so.
Why not?
I'm not amazing, but I don't think he was as outstanding.
Okay,
as
which
he-
year did De Bruyne join Man City?
I think the same year.
2015?
I think so.
No, I don't think it was. I think the
That's
first.
the year after maybe. But that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
like,
so if you're a manager
we
right
can't-
now, and you had one spot in the midfield,
Well, that's-
are you
that-
picking Kante over De Bruyne?
Well, I put in
But-
one spot.
If you have
but
one centre mid spot left, like in this squad right now, and you're a manager, and they offer you a De Bruyne and a Kante, who you putting in the squad? Are you putting in Kante?
Yeah, but we're not basing it on.
But well, basically, the decade just ended 3 days ago.
Yeah.
So now, after watching the decade and watching both players, who would you pick as a manager? Would you pick Kante over De Bruyne?
Depending what my team is, probably yeah.
Okay.
Depending what my team is.
Look,
Well,
and
the team that we're making now.
it's a fair argument because Kante's a freak as well. I completely can acknowledge that and appreciate that. But we're going to go on for this about age. A spot has to be picked. I've got De Bruyne. You had Lampard, but now obviously debating between Kante and De Bruyne. You're more on the De
I'm
Bruyne
happy to take out Lampard, obviously. I would say De Bruyne.
over Kante.
Over Kante.
I'm going to go with De Bruyne for the third spot. I know. We're going to go 2v1 here. I'm not saying what your argument is not fair. Kante is an absolute monster. And probably in hindsight now... Yeah,
The
I
problem
know.
is,
How do you put someone in your world 11, but not put him in your?
No, you're right. That statement I retract. But
Of course.
to me right now, De Bruyne...
I don't
To me
think-
right
I
now,
don't
De
think he's a-
Bruyne-
I don't think he's a bad player.
To me right now, De
But
Bruyne is
everyone-
the best player in the world right
why are
now.
you saying De Bruyne is shit, bro?
I'm not saying.
I'm going to get De Bruyne, and I'm going to sum up with one thing. Both players have done brilliant things. Yeah, all right, trophy-wise, I think Kante has achieved more
I think he's got one more title.
because he won the World Cup and everything as well.
Yeah.
But De Bruyne, to me, right now, is the best centre midfielder in the whole world. I don't think there's a better midfielder in any squad in Europe, anywhere in the world right now, than De Bruyne.
And you know what? He's actually gotten better. Kante hasn't gotten better.
No.
It's a different
Kante
role.
was better 2 years ago than he's now.
It's a different role.
Yeah, but we're picking one midfielder.
Yeah, it is a different role. He's more attacking, he's defensive.
It's a different role.
I get it. All right, we'll leave it at De Bruyne. Boys, I'm going to skip the debate and the argument. I think just put Aguero as one of the front three.
There's no debate.
I'm not even going to...
There's no debate. He scored the most goals in this decade out of any other striker. He has to be.
I think
they're one of the three. De Gea, Company, and Aguero have to be in the team.
I think it's... You can't
in the
even
team of
debate
the
it.
decade. It has to be. So that's
Yeah.
locked in.
That's what we're going to get straight there. In regards to a second front three, Borche, next to Aguero, who are you putting?
You're looking at now. It's when we're talking front three.
Attacking
I know-
players. Any type of attacking
players, I
player.
know.
Any type of attacking player.
For me, it has to be Harry Kane. The reason why we're looking at forwards, we're looking at strikers, we're looking at players that score goals. Aguero has scored the most goals in the Premier League in the last decade from all the strikers, and Harry Kane is second.
Yeah.
And he has
He's
if you
within a
look at
fraction of the time.
a fraction of the time. That's right. In a team, you need goals. Harry Kane gets you goals. That's it. To me, it's simple as that. When you're talking strikers, you're talking forwards. Harry Kane, for me, has to be in his team of the decade.
Should I run through both your front threes first, and then we'll sum it up, or how would you like to do this?
Well, my front three, I have Aguero and Kane, and now I have a spot empty where I can't.
Oh, you
I'm
can't.
debatable.
So how are we going to debate this spot with you if you can't pick a third one?
Because I got players. I got a couple of players.
What if
in
he
mind
picks the one that out of the ones that we give in that spot?
there. Why don't we
Just
talk
for that
about
one, since he can't find one.
the left backs and right backs,
Yeah.
What about the left back or right back?
like we did with
Yeah,
them? We'll
true.
hit these both at the
All
same
right, hit them
time.
both. So you have one and you'd have another.
Yeah, but I'm tossing up between. There's actually a few players here.
There's too many.
All right, let me tell you I've got Aguero, of course, and then I've got Hazard, Rooney next to him. That's my front three. Hazard, Aguero with Rooney. You've got Aguero, Kane, and question mark at the moment. Who is your front three?
So I've got Aguero, Van Persie, and Suarez.
This is too hard, bro.
It's impossible.
Look,
'Cause
you also had Hazard in your team that can play up front three.
Yeah,
so
I had
reckon
Hazard
you can throw him
back.
maybe in the front three there. If we're looking at our squad.
Look, in
combined.
regards to Van...
I understand Van Persie because he was one of my options to put in. Look, he's the only player in the decade that got Golden Boot 2 times in a row, back-to-back seasons.
And with two different clubs, yeah?
With two,
That's never
with two
also
different
never been
clubs.
done.
That's what, that
Two
was the
different
right,
clubs.
that
Won the
was-
league on Alex Ferguson's last season. Was the reason why they won it.
Like, legit, like, single-handedly won the title.
Him and Rooney are the ones that won it. Like, he legit
I
came
think-
in, won the league, wore the 20 jersey, made a statement, and Alex Ferguson retires.
And I think that, like, a cause for him to be in there as well, as opposed to others, is, like... Me personally, I've never seen one person take a team to the title. And, like, it's just so hard to win. And you see these dominating Man City teams, But they're all like team efforts more so than like one person. And Van
He had
Persie-
no one in that United
Van Persie
squad.
had the biggest traps in the world because of holding 10 other men on his back every week. You know what I mean? So I think that's why he should.
Bro,
be
this is
in
going to be hard, man.
Well, then again, you can say that for a lot of other players. Do we not mention Vardy, or is he?
But we're talking about content. I'm saying the difference was that it wasn't a solo effort for the Leicester thing. It was the team effort.
Yeah, I know, but
All right, let me
looking at
ask you this.
individual goals, like you're saying, he's breaking records. Vardy's there.
Let me
breaking
ask you this.
records.
Let me ask you this. Would you put a Rooney or a Van Persie in his front three?
Out of them
In the
two,
last decade.
it'll be a Van Persie. I think in that decade, I think Van Persie has scored more goals in that decade. I know Rooney has won the Premier League and he's won
But
the
Rooney
Europa
also
League.
captained the team that won it, Alex Ferguson's last year as well.
I know, he's won Europa League.
He was the veteran. When he left, he came and brought Moyes into the club. When he retired, he went back to Everton.
Yeah, I understand, but then again, you got other players in that decade who I think, like you're saying, I can't remember I think for John Terry, you guys made a point where he was kind of the back end of his career where he wasn't as good. Come on, how many United fans wanted Rooney gone? During that period of time,
for it. That's true.
Regardless whether you think he was good enough or not, people wanted him gone because he didn't have the quality. I mean, you can use that argument. I also think, to me, Harry Kane, I think has to be somewhere in here. But if we're fighting for one spot,
There's a Hazard in the mix too. 'Cause
Hazard
we've got
Sterling,
two spots.
for me for the one spot.
No, Hazard over Sterling.
Yeah, but Hazard. So if you look at
Hazard over Sterling in the last decade.
You look at Sterling. Sterling was 18 years old when he was playing at Liverpool, and he was in a title challenging squad. He went for a big money move to Manchester City, and I think
Hasn't looked back.
Sterling has gone kind of up. If you
Oh,
look at
kind
the
of.
way-
Absolutely,
but
he's gone up.
He's
there was
transformed completely.
He's probably had a moment where he kind of like just pivoted, staled for a little bit, and then has skyrocketed towards the back end of the decade, compared to Hazard, where I think every season it's one season good, one season bad, one season good.
I don't think it's so black and white like you're saying. Like, one season bad, one season
I think you're overplaying it.
In
To
general.
me,
everyone, come on, we've always said it. Everyone has said it every year. Oh, he had a bad season. A new manager comes in, Hazard's fantastic. Doesn't agree with something the manager does. It's a poor season from Hazard. Yes, he scores. Maybe the last season he had was probably the best season. Think about it. His last season was probably his best season at Chelsea. 16 goals, whatever he scored. That's his best season. I think.
I wouldn't say it's his
Yeah,
best.
but then, I'm saying as a striker here, we need someone to score goals. I don't need my strikers to assist.
Yeah, but that's why I had him in my middle three. To be fair. True?
Okay, fair enough. But I just think.
No, Hazard's a
Sterling-
front three player, man.
Yeah, front three play. That's what I mean. Don't worry about.
Don't worry about
assists.
scoring. But front three player. You don't have three centre strikers.
No, but
You
I
have
want my
you have a
strikers to
left
score
wing,
goals.
right wing, and a forward. You can have
Yeah,
those.
but
They're assisting.
Okay, if you're looking,
Look at
you're
your-
looking at Sterling.
Look
Sterling
at
assists. Sterling
look at
scores.
your Mane and Salah right now in Liverpool. They don't play centre striker.
Yeah, but they don't count because two good seasons.
No, but I'm not saying to have him in the team of the decade. I'm saying put a Hazard into that role in this squad. Aguero's getting assists every game. That's what I reckon. You can't say Hazard's there, not going to have any assists.
I'm not saying he's
When
not gonna
Hazard was
assist. I
around,
never said
everyone
he's-
had him in their fantasy team
Yeah, but
because
I
he was
never-
points guaranteed.
because he scored goals.
Since Ronaldo's retired,
scored
I
goals.
think he's been the best player in the Premier League every single year.
He hasn't though. Come
I think
on.
so.
You've said it yourself, bro.
No,
There's
I
been
think
times
so.
where he's been so poor. Hazard been so poor at times where.
But how long
Yeah,
are
but
these times
every
you're talking
player's
about?
been
But you
poor.
reckon a season at a time?
Not a season, but
Aguero's
it's
had times where he's been injured for massive portions of a season.
And that's why Aguero should be there, because he's never played a season in the decade where he's been fully fit the whole year. He's missed out a handful of games, scored the most goals out of all the strikers. That's why it's not debatable. Yeah, Hazard has gone up and down, up and down. I think if we have a bench, he should. I agree that he should be somewhere there. This is why it's so hard to pick. But
We've all got different players. I think I'd never have Kane in this team. That's me as well. I'd never have a Harry Kane in this team. No way. Van Persie, Rooney, Hazard, all these players, Suarez, and
all over Kane.
All over Kane.
But he scored the second most goals
I
in the league.
reckon Sterling's an even better English player than Kane is at the moment.
Yeah, but okay, at the moment, yes. After the World Cup, yes, he was. But we're not talking about the moment. We're talking about the decade. And the time he's
But
been
the
here.
moment is now because of how they played the last decade.
From an 18-year-old, I don't know. Harry Kane. you guys were talking about a front
The
three,
thing is,
but you don't
man,
want to
yeah.
put the second most highest goal scorer. We're talking about
You're right.
goals,
I'm
not
right.
assists, goals.
I've got my centre striker already.
You're right in the sense.
I want my left wing and my right wing now.
What you said about the second most goals in the decade after being here for having
But
probably 4 proper seasons. Like that's a big call. That's a big shout, and I guess he deserves to be in there. But I also agree with Rami. Where I'd still have Van Persie and Suarez before I pick him.
How though?
I'd have Van Persie and
Why-
Hazard
why-
before I
I
pick
know,
him.
regardless, I know. Okay, he's probably the only player in my squad that has won a trophy. If I look at it, if I go look back at my squad, he's the only player in my squad that hasn't won a Premier League title or any sort of other trophies. But
that doesn't bother me either.
Yeah, but
that doesn't bother me.
But still,
that
you have
because
that-
Suarez doesn't have any
Yeah,
trophies
but
either.
that something has to count. Trophies has to count in some way in here.
All right.
He's taken Tottenham. I don't care, bro. He's taken Tottenham to the Champions League final. He's been He's been scoring 20 plus goals every season, season in, season out. He's been scoring goals, and now you're going to take him on for a Rooney who was what did he get in the last couple of seasons? He was at United. Yes, he played in a deeper role, so he wasn't even playing the last couple of years. He wasn't even playing in that front position, so you can't even count him as a forward. In my opinion, Harry Kane has to be there. If you want to take Hazard over who I think maybe Sterling should be there over Hazard, I'll be happily to put in Hazard to go with your opinion because I know you had him and I think you have him as well. But Harry Kane for me has to be in this team.
Okay, so are we putting Harry? Okay,
I'll take out Sterling. I'll surrender Sterling for Hazard, but Harry Kane, come on, he's the second most.
so then now, so now we're leaving Van Persie out. So you pick a Harry Kane over Van Persie in the last decade.
Yeah,
It's tough, bro.
you gotta look at it. When Van
All right,
Persie,
all right.
look at his time at United after.
Do me a favour. Lock in Hazard as one of the spots.
Let me go back to our one.
Now we debate for the last spot.
This is so ugly, bro.
Hazard. Hazard. Gosh, everyone but Hazard. And in the last spot. But you know what? I'm looking back to his backline. I'm cut. Everyone's not in the squad still.
I didn't even think about Tevez, bro. He won it.
I wouldn't.
No, I was thinking about that before.
All right, so now we're down to Van Persie, Suarez, or Kane. Is that where we're at the moment?
What about Bale?
Percy, Suarez or Kane?
Not Bale.
I think straight off the bat we take away Suarez.
I think so too, man.
Yeah, no, it's your call.
So now it's Van Persie, your pick. I had Rooney, so we're apparently cutting Rooney out. We're going to cut Rooney out of this. Yeah,
so.
He had his better years before that. All right, I'm happy to do that. Yeah, it doesn't matter. He's still a front. Come on, man. In the last decade, he played deep role.
You didn't give me Aspilicueta because he was a centre back. He went moved over.
1 year he's been a right back. Alonso was a right back last season.
Doesn't matter. Rooney was like 3 years.
All right.
Before in central. It was 1 year. Rooney was 1 year striker.
You know what? I'm so
He was
cut.
1 year striker, and you're telling me Aspilicueta, get out of here.
I'm still cut. I'm still cut. Everyone's not in the squad. Anyway, moving on. So we're down now to a Van Persie or a Harry Kane. I can't pick Harry Kane, man.
Harry Kane has scored the most goals in that.
But you can keep repeating that stat.
Okay, tell me how good was Van Persie after Ferguson left?
Yeah, but you know what?
Don't tell
That
me-
one season is 10 years to me, bro. I'm telling you right now, that
So you
one
can't-
season.
you can't pick one
Back-to-back
season
golden
over Harry
goals.
Kane's done. Come on, let's
Back-to-back golden boot winner.
You didn't know that
Back-to-back.
unless I mentioned it. So I
No, I knew that.
Hang on,
Relax,
that
we
doesn't-
knew
I
that. You
gave
didn't
you
mention
ammo
that.
there. I gave you ammo.
Oh,
there.
relax, you gave us
That
ammo.
doesn't
Like,
change
I didn't watch the Premier
Doesn't change
League.
the facts. No,
doesn't
Like,
change
I didn't
facts.
watch the Premier League. This guy, I knew that
Doesn't
fact.
change
What do you
facts.
mean? I knew that fact.
No,
And it was two different
If-
clubs
if
as
Try and
well.
give them the ammo. They
If
don't
you
go in.
created,
Oh, get the ammo, bro. Go and sit in the toilet and get
How
some
many goals
ammo.
did he score?
30. No,
No,
wait.
he didn't.
Let's go on to the stats. He did research. He did research, this guy.
I watched the Premier
I'm
League.
not getting involved with stats.
I
I
watched
hate
the
stats.
Premier
I hate
League.
when people look at
Yeah,
the game.
this guy's
for
all about
stats.
it. He's a
That
stat man.
burns me. I don't want that. That's,
You're a stat man. All right, listen. Boys,
I know what he's saying that one season.
Van Persie or Kane? Kane has won no trophies.
Okay, let me speak.
We're bringing stats up now, yeah? Stats, zero trophies. It's like Gerrard's won no Premier League to Liverpool. It's stats.
Yeah, okay, we're talking.
How about we
stats.
sack both of them and pick a different player?
yeah, Bale.
No!
Bale had one good season.
Oh, one good season, bro. He was unplayable for like 3, yeah? Ended up being the world records. What?
One
good
season, bro.
One good season.
The last season, bro. Before he got converted to a left winger, he was a left back.
Yeah, that was a decade before.
And
decade before.
No, he was 2 of the seasons. He played two years
Right,
in the decade.
2010, 11 season, he killed it. 2012,
All right, can I ask you a
13 killed
question?
it. 13, 14.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, Bale,
no,
they
no,
respect
no.
Bale.
One
They
question.
respect
One
Bale.
question. You talk about how N'Golo Kante could have been picked in the midfield because he's won it for less than all this stuff. Why is Vardy not in the talkie?
I mentioned Vardy before.
But why is Vardy not in discussion now? Why is Vardy not over Kane?
I mentioned.
Why is
seasons
Vardy
of
not
that.
over Kane? No. He said Kane won the second most goals.
Yeah.
Why isn't Vardy included? Vardy won a Premier League with a nothing team. Like you said, Kante won it with nothing team.
Yeah.
Why isn't Vardy ahead of Kane?
Because I don't think he's a better player than Kane. I think in the last.
But you reckon Kane's a better player than what Van Persie was?
Who starts? Who? Yes. Who starts in the?
In
the last decade, bro, Van Persie was part of the other decade as well, where he was absolutely fantastic for Arsenal. Who is a better player overall throughout the decade so far?
Is it true that Van Persie did in one season that Kane couldn't do in 4 or 5?
Yes.
True?
Yes. In one season, he won the title, yes. And then remember, everyone always says that, look who the manager was, yeah? So we're also looking at who the manager was. You said he was under Sarri, he was thing because the manager was
He was
poor.
under Pochettino.
But he played shit, bro.
Yeah, but who?
Alright,
don't worry about it. Okay, let's get...
Well, you
let's-
brought it up, so don't worry about it. You
Yeah,
brought it up.
only because I'm looking at Vardy. I'm like,
Yeah,
Vardy's
but
an
that's what I'm
option
saying.
from the
He's
mix
bringing
too.
it up, and I mentioned Vardy at the start. Okay, do we scrap Vardy or do we give him an honourable
Look,
mention?
I reckon
He
to give it
has
to
been
Alexis
scoring
Sanchez,
goals.
man.
Sanchez has been better than Van Persie to me in this decade.
No, for what? The 1 year for Arsenal? Hell,
What do you mean 1 year for Arsenal?
he did rubbish for Arsenal.
All right, but Harry Kane has to be in it for me.
So it's between Harry Kane and Van Persie. This is
How we taking so long to the barriers gonna run out here? The thing is,
Listen, Rami said at the beginning he's going to have the final say.
of course, and I
I
know
think
he's
we're
gonna
going to have to
pick.
just...
you know
wrap
what?
it up like that.
Borjak said to me, Rami, you have the final say
It's
today.
the final say on
With
the
reason.
With reason on the debate, and I think you don't.
So you reckon Van Persie has no chance against Kane in the last decade? Like zero. There's not even a discussing
Of course,
point.
there's a chance. Of course, obviously we're having a discussion.
Is there anyone else you guys want to throw in there before we make a final pick?
I already gave you mine.
You got Firmino,
No, they can't. They're
Nah.
not for me.
Romelu Lukaku. No, we're picking him now.
not for
No, I can't pick this man. Van Persie or Kane?
Van Persie, let's be real, he was fantastic. Yes, he won the league for United, single-handedly won the league for United.
You know what kills me? The fact that Kane has not won a title. That is where it's like, oh.
He's taken his team to the Champions League final.
Who cares? Make a final.
Yeah, okay,
What do you get
I
out
know,
of it?
but I'm saying individually.
He
what
didn't
he's
take
done-
him individually to the
No,
final.
I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was actually injured through a lot of that.
Okay.
Yeah, he was injured a lot for the last
Let me
season.
finish, yeah? Let me land here. Individually,
Watch
instead
his
of
goal
looking at the
red.
team, individually, what has he done? He's captain England. He's probably gonna break the.
What have
world
England done? They made the quarterfinals.
What have they done? So now we're looking at what other things have done.
But you
I'm
mentioned-
saying, look
But
what he's
doesn't that
done.
matter?
He scored in every single group stage for England in the qualifications. Yeah, I know it's not Premier League, but he scored in every single game. Penalties,
the
not
only one?
penalties. No, some of them he has scored in every game. In all the qualifying games, he scored. Right. In the Premier League, season in, season out, Harry Kane scores goals, 20 plus goals every season. He doesn't score in August, and he still bloody gets top golden boots and all that every single season with being injured. So don't talk to me about Van Persie.
Alright, but then
Don't talk to me about Van
one on
Persie.
Suarez, but missed 7 games and still became by miles the leading goal scorer.
Yeah, one season.
So what, bro? But this,
For Harry Kane, everyone's like, oh, one season. He's a one season wonder, one season wonder.
who's saying
Who
that?
said
bro?
one
People
season
say
wonder?
5
You
years,
guys,
bro.
I'm saying people are
Which
saying
people do you
bringing that
talk
up,
to?
man?
Alright,
Go against the dog park,
One
talk to
season
dogs.
wonder,
What are you reckon about
Come
Kane?
on. There's a lot of people that said,
What
No.
does that do with anything, but?
but he keeps on proving himself every year. Like, okay,
Okay, he's proved himself. We're not
Okay.
debating
You
that,
wanna
bro.
pull- you wanna
That's
pull-
why he's in the
you wanna
debate
pull-
of the team of the decade.
Oh, he's been injured. Van Persie was missed the injury. So you
Not-
want to put someone in the
Not
last...
in the last decade.
Not in the last decade. Oh my God, Van Persie was injury FC, but you want to put in an injured player? No
Why?
worries.
He played for
Okay,
United in the last.
surrender.
Relax, no, relax. Why are
I
you getting
surrender.
up?
I surrender because I can't win
Oh
in this
well,
debate.
he surrenders.
It's your call.
You know what?
surrender.
After he surrenders, I want to pick Kane now. I try to
It's
bullshit
not fair.
surrender.
How can you put someone that's injured most of his career at the back end of United? Let's be real. You're using 1 year at United. Yes, it was good.
2 seasons back to
Okay.
back as a golden boot.
Yeah, okay.
You said that yourself. A record that's never been done before.
For 2 different clubs. Yes.
Yeah. So if you're a record breaker
The
and
full
no
body,
one's done it
the
in
full
this
body.
decade,
Hold.
but that's right.
How
You're right.
about we throw a spanner in the works? I think I'm going to put Raheem Sterling as that third spot. No Kane and no Van Persie. I'm putting a curveball in. I want you to select Sterling.
Okay.
Click it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Oh, that hurt you, didn't it? Why is Kane still
Oh, wait,
there?
that's my squad.
Match fixing.
Sterling.
Where is he?
Raheem Sterling. All right, boys.
Bro.
Yeah,
That is
that's
Man City
shit.
with a little bit of pepper on it. Look at
That's
that.
shit. That's like everyone. That's like the whole world's pick. We just picked what the whole world picked.
How?
Hey, but at least we went through it. We showed our working out.
So, as you can
Shut
see,
up,
hey,
working
look, in the maths exam, if you got the answer wrong, but you got the working out, you get 4 out of 5. No, look, I think, no, what do you mean? I don't reckon the world has a squad. If you
Everyone
scroll,
has his squad, man.
all right, our squad, De Gea at the back.
Look at this squad up top.
Yeah.
See? The brains, no, BBC Sport.
No,
the
what,
brains.
no, you're just following what
Bro,
everyone
you were
else
just
picks.
upset that we had the same as everyone.
Yeah, I
and now
swear,
you-
no, that's what everyone else has. Fuck
This
hell,
guy,
bro.
bro.
Fuck, I'm done, bro. I'm leaving, bro. No, I'm joking. I'm staying. All right, our team. We got De Gea at the back. We got Zabaleta, Company, Terry, and Milner. With the three in the midfield: De Bruyne, Toure, Silva. This is Man City FC. At the front, we've got Hazard, Aguero, and Sterling.
You got to give me the manager.
The manager
Guardiola.
is.
Daniel Farker.
Don't give me Klopp. Off camera, you said Klopp. This team is not a Klopp team.
Okay, we'll lock in the
Guardiola,
Guardiola.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
1 million.
I'd
How
put
do you not have Kane there?
I'd put Moyes there, but look, if you want to go, all right, we'll go. Yeah.
Can we change? Can we make any changes? Final calls.
No way.
What change are you making? If you have to change something in that squad, what are you
It's gonna have to
changing?
be a two-part.
All right.
Hazard,
If
Hazard
you had
for
to
Kane.
change something in the squad,
Hazard for Kane.
Hazard for Kane. If you had to change something in the squad,
Oh, if I had to, no.
If I had to change it, it's,
one thing only.
It's one person.
One.
But I want to take out. It's gonna cause controversy. I want to take out Silva and put Hazard in this position and put Gareth Bale up there. Just because I think he
One
was the
season.
world record. No, you say one season, I disagree. But world record signing for a reason. That's mine.
Okay. And you take out Hazard, you put
No,
in
I think
Kane.
I might take out De Bruyne, put in N'Golo Kante.
Okay, but otherwise you'd leave.
Yeah.
If I had to change something, I'm taking. Even though I picked the team, I'll take Zabaleta out, move Milner to the right, and put Evra in there still. I think Evra to me is burning me
bad.
that he's not there.
Not bad.
But boys, we finally got there.
10 years all put into one video. Eh?
No one lost any teeth. Guys,
That's it.
we
We're
told you it
back
gets
in.
heated on this on group chat. That's our starting 11. We'd love for you to, and what Butch will do, we'll probably put the link in the bio of how to make your team of the decade. We'd love for you to make a team, screenshot it, and put it in the comments. We just really want to see, who you have. Maybe we can put together all the, I don't know, we might put a post and share everyone's on our Instagram story or something of which team that you guys selected. But trust me, we want you to do it and probably even debate it with your mates because it is extremely difficult to do it.
Took us forever.
But boys,
Yeah.
is that it? We're
That's
good?
it. We're
Think
good.
so.
Thanks again for watching. Make sure you subscribe and all that. And Harry Kane.
No Kane?
Nah.
All right, guys. See you next time.